Welcome back to the channel where medical topics are made simple. Our videos give you memory tricks to help you out, and today you'll learn a simple memory trick to remember the meninges of the brain. This video is a concept from Chapter 3 of our Teach Me Medicine book, which will be linked down below, where you can also find more information on this topic. So what are the meninges? The meninges are three protective layers of membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord. The three layers include the dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. Now what's a simple way to remember these layers? You can use the following memory trick. Skulls defend and protect brains. This mnemonic tells us three things. First, it tells us the layers of the meninges. Second, it tells us the order of the meninges from the skull to the brain. Finally, it tells us the function of the skull and meninges. Let's break it down. This mnemonic is perfect because it tells us to start at the skull and end at the brain. So starting with the word skull in the mnemonic, this will tell us to start at the skull. Then we're going to move inward. The D for defend in the mnemonic will help us remember the D for dura mater. The dura mater is the outermost meningeal layer. It's tough and it adheres closely beneath the skull. Then we move to the A for and in the mnemonic. This will help us remember the A for arachnoid mater. The arachnoid mater is the middle meningeal layer. It's a web-like layer, which is why it has the name arachnoid, meaning spider-like, and it's located beneath the dura. Then we move to the P for protect in the mnemonic. This will help us remember the P for pia mater. The pia mater is the innermost meningeal layer. It's a delicate membrane that closely adheres to the surface of the brain. This takes us to the brain in the mnemonic, which will help us remember brain. So you can see the mnemonic starts with skull and ends with brain. So this will help you remember the layers of the meninges starting at the skull and ending at the brain. In other words, it's from outer to inner. This is important, so listen up. The space between the arachnoid and pia mater is known as the subarachnoid space. And the subarachnoid space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid, which cushions the brain. It also provides buoyancy to reduce the effective weight of the brain and helps deliver nutrients and remove waste, among other functions. Now we said the mnemonic also tells us the function of the skull and meninges. The mnemonic was skulls defend and protect brains. And this is what the skull and meninges do. They defend and protect the brain. The meninges also help to anchor the central nervous system, which includes the brain and spinal cord, to the surrounding skull and vertebrae. And as we already mentioned, the meninges also contain cerebrospinal fluid. Remember, this was in the subarachnoid space. Finally, the meninges help support blood vessels that supply the brain and spinal cord. If you found the memory trick useful, please hit that like button and leave a comment. Subscribe to save time studying and not miss out on future videos and notes. You can find all of our study guides, flashcards, and book linked down below. Thanks for watching and hope you return for future videos.